Xin chào, hello.
Our group, Mike, Will, Anjas, and Nick, would like to talk about the concept of time in Vietnam.
Now I will introduce some background information about Vietnam. The Socialist Republic of Vietnam is the easternmost country on the Indochina Peninsula in Southeast Asia, with an estimated 92.7 million inhabitants as of 2016. It is the world's 14th most populous country and the ninth most populous Asian country, and a total area of 332,698 square kilometers. Vietnam is bordered by China to the north, Laos to the northwest, Cambodia to the southwest, Thailand across the group of Thailand to the southwest, and the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia across the South China Sea to the east and the southeast. Its capital city has been Hanoi since the reunification of the North and the South Vietnam in 1976, with Ho Chi Minh City as a historical city as well. Vietnamese people have lived over 1,000 years under Chinese domination from 111 BC to AD 939. French colonialism for 83 years from 1867 to 1954, and a civil war ensued for 30 years, which included the war against the United States. This have left Vietnamese people with a strong sense of national pride. They are more future-oriented than past-oriented because the American War was relatively short compared to Vietnam past conflicts, and since two wars have been fought thereafter against China and Cambodia. The Vietnamese today do not harbour animosity toward Americans. They view that conflict already as a past history, and they are very curious about all the American, anxious to conduct the business and tourism with their former enemy. The Vietnamese are now trying to put their past enemies behind them to build a better relationship for whole the world, to cooperate and develop together. The pain of the war left throughout the history of Vietnam as a stepping stone for all the Vietnamese people trying to build and defend the world peace. Furthermore, it also gives the Vietnamese more motivation to strive for a better and a brighter future.
Now I will tell you about how Vietnamese people handle their daily life. For Vietnamese people, time is stretchable and as a result, time commitments do not have to be kept. People are flexible about time that makes them often being in hurry and looking for quick solutions to solve the problems. For example, when a group of young people decided to meet at 3 p.m. in somewhere, most of the members of the group will come 30 minutes after the meeting time. However, there are some people who also will be late until 1 or 2 hours after the meeting time. Compared to most of the European countries which are usually make an appointments few weeks ahead, Vietnamese people usually will keep delaying the meeting time which already decided a few times until they finally meet. By the time, it became a habit for most of the people in Vietnam and they call it as rubber band time. People in Vietnam also value more to quality than quantity. When they have to make something and they have been given a deadline, they will prefer to finish the task as best as possible, even if that means they have to hand the task after the deadline. For example, when students assign a task by the teacher to make something, they will prefer to hand it after the deadline in order to make it as good as they can, rather than hand it before the deadline and the result is not as they hope.
After that, I will talk about the time of concept of business in Vietnam. Normally, they work in a cyclic style. People do multiple things at the same time. In Vietnam, they think that time is just a secondary to task. Completing the task is much more important than beating deadlines. That's why in Vietnam, the businessmen think that time is flexible. They adjust time according to their needs. Unexpected gaps of time are not a problem for them. If they have a business meeting with the partner and the meeting goes longer than expected, they probably won't just stand up at an appointed hour and leave. If they decide it is a better use of the time to meet with the visitors than to do the other things they planned to do, then they will just shift and cancel other commitments. When they make an appointment with other companies, it will be filled as an intention to meet at that time. However, the actual appointment can be rescheduled, start earlier or later than planned, and will take as long as needed to complete the goals for the meeting. That said, they can be very flexible and accommodating when any special situation occurs. Be that as it may, the businessman in Vietnam is quite punctual and expected their workers to be the same.
After discussing the time management business in Vietnam, I would like to share some real life stories. Vietnam is known as a synchronic country. People here have some habits in their daily life that show the feature of the synchronic country. For example, Vietnamese people always use their phone during the meal, such as breakfast, lunch, or even dinner. They prefer using their phone, talking with each other, and having meal at the same time. Some people see it as impoliteness. However, some people do not care about it and just keep doing whatever they want. In addition, there is one more example of Vietnam, and I would like to take my sister as an example. In concrete, she is now working in the bank, and every day she has to answering many phone calls or even working on the computer at the same time. She is like exhausted after coming back home at 5:30 p.m. One day I saw her having dinner while using her computer. I asked her, why do you have to eating and working at the same time? She said she had to submit it later and it became her habit somehow. Finally, her day ended when she went to sleep at 11, but she didn't forget to play Facebook before sleeping. So we can see Vietnamese people tend to do things at the same time.
Thank you for watching.